The mysterious arrival. The night sky over New Austin erupted in a blaze of light as the alien ship tore through Earth's atmosphere. Citizens gawked at the spectacle, pointing and gasping as the sleek vessel left a trail of fire in its wake. But for Captain Sarah Chen of Earth's Unified Defense Force, this was no light show. It was a potential threat to global security. All units converge on the projected landing site. Sarah barked into her comm as she sprinted toward her hover transport. Let's give our unexpected visitor a proper welcome. As Sarah's team raced across the Texas desert, wild speculation flew back and forth over the airwaves. Was this first contact? An invasion? No one knew what to expect, but Sarah was determined to be prepared for anything. The alien craft had come to rest in a remote canyon, steam rising from its hull as it cooled in the night air. Sarah's troops formed a perimeter, weapons at the ready. For several tense minutes, nothing happened. Then, with a hiss of depressurization, a hatch slid open. Sarah held her breath as a tall, slender figure emerged. The alien was humanoid, with iridescent blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. But what struck Sarah most were its eyes, deep pools of swirling silver that seemed to contain entire galaxies. "I am Zora of the Luminary," the alien said, its voice echoing in Sarah's mind rather than her ears. "I come seeking asylum." Sarah lowered her weapon slightly, confused. Asylum? From what? Zora's silver eyes flashed with what Sarah could only interpret as fear. From those who would use me as a weapon to destroy worlds. Before Sarah could respond, the night sky lit up once again. But this time, it wasn't the glow of an entering ship, it was weapons fire. 3 sleek, black vessels had appeared seemingly out of nowhere, raining energy bolts down on Zara's ship and the surrounding area. "Take cover," Sarah yelled, diving behind a rock formation. Her troops scattered, returning fire with their pulse rifles, but their weapons seemed to have little effect on the attacking ships. Zara stood motionless in the chaos, her eyes closed in concentration. Suddenly, the air around her began to ripple and distort. The energy bolts from the enemy ship slowed, then stopped entirely, suspended in mid-air like frozen lightning. Sarah watched in awe as Zara raised her hands. The suspended energy bolts reversed course, streaking back toward the ships that had fired them. 2 of the vessels erupted in explosions, while the third veered off, fleeing into the night sky. As quickly as it had begun, the battle was over. Sarah emerged from her cover, approaching Zara cautiously. What are you?" Zara turned to face her, and Sarah felt the weight of centuries in that alien gaze. "I am the last of my kind," Zara said, her mental voice tinged with sorrow. "A being capable of manipulating the very fabric of space-time. And now I am a fugitive." Sarah's mind reeled at the implications. A being with the power to alter reality itself. No wonder someone wanted to use Zara as a weapon. But the captain's instincts told her that this alien was not a threat, at least not to Earth. "Who were they?" Sarah asked, gesturing to the sky where the enemy ships had been. "The hegemony," Zara replied. "An empire spanning thousands of worlds. They seek to harness my abilities to conquer the galaxy. I've been fleeing them for centuries, staying one step ahead, but I grow weary of running." Sarah holstered her weapon and took a step closer to Zara. "Why come to Earth? We're not exactly an advanced species compared to what's out there." A hint of a smile played across Zara's alien features. "Because your world is young, full of potential, and because I've observed your kind from afar. Humans may lack our technology, but you possess a spirit, a determination that even the hegemony fears." Before Sarah could respond, her comm crackled to life. "Captain Chen, this is Central Command. We're picking up multiple bogies entering the atmosphere. You need to evacuate the area immediately." Sarah looked up at the sky, then back at Zara. She knew she should follow protocol, should detain this alien and wait for further orders. But something in Zara's silver eyes spoke to her on a level beyond logic. My team and I can offer you protection, Sarah said, making a split-second decision that would change the course of human history. But you have to trust us. Zara nodded solemnly. Trust is all I have left to give. As Sarah's team scrambled to their transports, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was stepping into something far bigger than herself. Earth had just been thrust onto a galactic stage it didn't even know existed, and Sarah Chen was at the center of it all. The hover transports rolled to life, kicking up dust as they lifted off. Sarah sat across from Zara, studying the alien's otherworldly features. I have about 1,000 questions, she said, but I guess we should start with the basics. What exactly can you do? Zara's silver eyes seemed to swirl as she considered the question. My people, the Luminari, evolved the ability to perceive and manipulate the quantum fabric of the universe. We can alter probability, redirect energy, even create localized temporal distortions. Sarah blinked, trying to process this. So, you're saying you can control time and space? To a degree, yes, Zara replied, but it's not without cost. Each use of our abilities takes a toll on our bodies. That's why the hegemony hunts us. They seek to drain our power for their own use, heedless of the damage it causes. The transport shuddered as it accelerated, racing away from the incoming hegemony ships. Sarah glanced out the window at the starry sky, wondering how many other alien vessels might be up there, invisible to human detection. How did you end up alone? Sarah asked, turning back to Zara. What happened to the rest of your people? A wave of sadness washed over Zara's features. We were a peaceful race, content to explore the mysteries of the cosmos. But our abilities made us targets. The hegemony came, promising protection in exchange for our service. Some of my people agreed, seduced by promises of power and safety. Zara's fists clenched as she continued, but it was a lie. Those who joined the hegemony became little more than batteries, their life force drained to fuel weapons of mass destruction. The rest of us fought back, but we were outnumbered. I am the last as far as I know. Sarah felt a surge of anger at the injustice of it all. And you've been running ever since? Zara nodded. For centuries. I've seen empires rise and fall, watched countless worlds burn in the hegemony's wake. But something drew me to Earth. Perhaps it was hope, or merely desperation. The comm system crackled to life, interrupting their conversation. Captain Chen, we've got a problem. Hegemony ships have established a blockade in low Earth orbit. We can't get off-world. Sarah cursed under her breath. Copy that. Rendezvous at backup point Charlie. We'll figure out our next move there. She turned to Zara, her expression grim. I hope you're ready for a fight, because it looks like we're in for one. As the transport changed course, heading for a hidden UDF base in the mountains, Sarah's mind raced. Earth's defenses were woefully unprepared for an alien invasion. They needed a plan, and fast. Zara, Sarah said, an idea forming. You said you can manipulate probability, right? Any chance you could, I don't know, make our weapons more effective against hegemony tech? The alien's silver eyes widened slightly. It's possible, yes. But it would require a great deal of energy, and I'm already weakened from the earlier battle. Sarah nodded, understanding. We'll find a way to make it work. Earth is counting on us, even if they don't know it yet. The transport touched down at the hidden base, a facility carved into the side of a mountain. As Sarah led Zara inside, alarms blared and personnel scrambled to battle stations. Screens displayed satellite images of the hegemony fleet in orbit, a dozen sleek black ships hanging ominously above the planet. General Marcus Weathers, a grizzled veteran with more combat experience than the rest of the base combined, approached Sarah with a scowl. Captain Chen, you mind explaining why you brought an alien into our top-secret facility? Sarah stood at attention, meeting the general's stern gaze. Sir, this is Zara of the Luminari. She possesses abilities that could be crucial in defending Earth against the hegemony invasion force. Weathers' eyes narrowed as he studied Zara. And how do we know she's not working with them? This could all be an elaborate trap. Before Sarah could respond, Zara stepped forward. "General," she said, her mental voice resonating with a quiet authority, "I understand your suspicion, but I assure you, I have no love for the hegemony. They destroyed my people, and now they threaten yours. I'd offer my abilities in defense of Earth, asking only for sanctuary in return." The general's expression softened slightly. "Fine, but she's your responsibility, Captain. If anything goes wrong, it's on you." Sarah nodded, relieved. "Understood, sir. What's our current status?" Weathers led them to a holographic display of Earth and the surrounding space. "The hegemony has us surrounded. Our satellites are offline, communications are spotty at best. We're effectively cut off from the rest of the world." Sarah studied the display, her tactical mind already formulating strategies. "What about our orbital defense platforms?" "Useless," Weathers growled. "Their shields shrugged off our best shots like they were nothing." Zara stepped closer to the hologram, her silver eyes swirling as she analyzed the situation. "The hegemony ships are formidable, but not invincible. Their shields have a fluctuation cycle. If we time our attacks precisely, we may be able to penetrate their defenses." The general raised an eyebrow. "And how exactly do you propose we do that? Our weapons can barely scratch them." Sarah turned to Zara, a determined glint in her eye. "This is where your abilities come in. You said you could manipulate probability, make our weapons more effective. If we combine that with the timing you mentioned..." Zara nodded slowly. "It could work. But I'll need a direct connection to your weapon systems and a significant power source to draw from." Weathers looked skeptical, but Sarah could see the glimmer of hope in his eyes. "Do it," he said gruffly. "I'll have the tech team set you up with whatever you need, but make it quick. I doubt the hegemony is going to wait around while we get our act together." As Zara was led away to interface with the base's systems, Sarah turned back to the general. "Sir, we need to warn the rest of the world. If we can coordinate a global counterattack..." Weathers cut her off with a wave of his hand. "Already on it, Captain. We've got teams working on breaking through the communications blackout. In the meantime, I need you to prep our ground forces. If those bastards make it past our orbital defenses, we need to be ready to repel a land invasion." Sarah saluted crisply. "Yes, sir." As she turned to leave, Weathers called out to her. "Chen," he said, his gruff voice softening slightly. "What you did out there, bringing in the alien, it was a hell of a risk, but it might just save us all. Good work." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Thank you, sir. But the real test is still to come." As she made her way to the barracks to brief her troops, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Earth had been thrust into a cosmic conflict it was woefully unprepared for, but with Zara's help and humanity's indomitable spirit, perhaps they stood a chance. The fate of the planet now rested on an unlikely alliance between a human captain and an alien fugitive. As a hegemony loomed above, preparing to rain destruction upon the Earth, Sarah Chen steeled herself for the battle to come. Whatever happened next would determine not just the future of humanity, but the balance of power in the entire galaxy. The Quantum Gambit. As dawn broke over the hidden mountain base, the air thrummed with tension. Captain Sarah Chen stood before a sea of anxious faces, her fellow soldiers, scientists, and technicians, all awaiting her words. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for the task ahead. "People of Earth," she began, her voice carrying across the cavernous war room, "today we face a threat unlike any in human history. The hegemony, an alien empire of unimaginable power, hovers above our world. But we are not alone in this fight." Sarah gestured to Zara, the luminescent alien standing beside her. Murmurs rippled through the crowd at the sight of the otherworldly being. "This is Zara, last of the Luminari. Her abilities may be our key to survival. I know many of you are scared. I am too. But today, we have a chance to show the galaxy what humanity is made of. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today we celebrate our Independence Day. A roar of cheers erupted from the assembled humans, their fear transforming into determination. Sarah allowed herself a small smile, silently thanking the old Earth movie for the inspirational speech. As the crowd dispersed to their stations, General Weathers approached Sarah and Zara. "Stirring words, Captain," he said gruffly. "Now let's hope we can back them up. What's our plan?" Zara's silver eyes swirled as she spoke. "I've interfaced with your weapons systems and analyzed the hegemony's defenses. There's a weakness we can exploit, but it will require precise timing and unconventional tactics." The alien gestured to a holographic display of Earth and the hegemony fleet. "Their shields operate on a quantum frequency that fluctuates in a predictable pattern. If we can synchronize our attacks with these fluctuations, we can penetrate their defenses, but we'll only have nanoseconds to strike." Sarah frowned. "Our targeting systems aren't that precise. Even with your probability manipulation, it's a long shot." Zara's expression turned grave. "There is another option, but it comes with great risk." General Weathers leaned in, his eyes narrowing. "We're all ears, alien." "I can create a localized temporal distortion," Zara explained. "A bubble of slowed time around Earth. It would give us the extra seconds we need to target the hegemony's weak points. But maintaining such a distortion will drain my life force significantly. And if I lose control..." Zara's eyes widened as she grasped the implications. "You could tear apart the fabric of space-time itself." Zara nodded solemnly. "The fate of your world would hang in the balance of my concentration." A heavy silence fell over the group. Finally, General Weathers spoke. "It's a hell of a gamble, but right now, it might be our only shot. Captain Chen, prep our orbital defense platforms. I want every weapon we've got ready to fire the moment that time bubble goes up." As Sarah turned to carry out her orders, Zara gently caught her arm. "Sarah," the alien said, her mental voice tinged with emotion, "I need you to understand. If this fails, if I lose control, the consequences could be catastrophic, not just for Earth, but for this entire sector of the galaxy." Sarah met Zara's swirling silver gaze, seeing the weight of centuries in those alien eyes. "I trust you, Zara. We all do. Whatever happens, we're in this together." With a nod of understanding, they parted ways to prepare for the coming battle. Sarah coordinated with military forces around the globe, synchronizing their attacks with Zara's temporal distortion. Scientists and engineers worked feverishly to upgrade their targeting systems, squeezing every ounce of precision from their technology. As 0 hour approached, Sarah found herself back in the command center, standing beside Zara. The alien's blue skin seemed to pulse with barely contained energy. "All forces report ready," General Weathers announced. "Zara, it's time." The luminary closed her eyes, concentrating. The air around them began to shimmer and distort, like heat waves rising from sun-baked asphalt. Sarah felt a strange sensation, as if the world around her was moving through molasses. Temporal distortion stabilized. A technician called out, "We're operating at approximately 1/1000th normal time flow relative to the hegemony fleet." Sarah watched the holographic display in awe. The hegemony ships, once menacing in their stillness, now crawled across the screen at an agonizingly slow pace. "All units, fire at will," General Weathers commanded. A barrage of missiles, energy beams, and experimental weapons lanced up from Earth's surface and orbital platforms. With agonizing slowness, they approached the hegemony fleet. Sarah held her breath, watching for the telltale flicker of the alien shields. Then, in a moment that seemed to stretch for eternity, it happened. The shields fluctuated, creating a millisecond window of vulnerability. Earth's weapons slipped through, impacting the hegemony ships with devastating precision. Cheers erupted throughout the command center as explosions blossomed across the enemy fleet, but their celebration was short-lived. Multiple hostile craft breaking through. A sensor operator shouted, "They're entering the atmosphere." Sarah turned to Zara, alarmed to see the alien trembling with exertion. Beads of luminescent sweat dotted her blue skin, and her silver eyes were clenched shut in concentration. I can't hold it much longer," Zara gasped, her mental voice strained. General Weathers barked orders, redirecting their remaining forces to intercept the incoming hegemony ships. But Sarah knew it wouldn't be enough. They needed more time. In that moment, Sarah made a decision that would alter the course of the battle, and possibly the fate of the galaxy. She placed her hand on Zara's shoulder, feeling the alien's trembling form beneath her touch. "Zara," she said softly, "let me help you. Use my life force, my energy, whatever you need. We're in this together, remember." The luminary's eyes snapped open, swirling with a mixture of surprise and gratitude. "Sarah, you don't know what you're offering. The strain could kill you." Sarah smiled grimly. "Better to die fighting than cowering in fear. Do it." With a nod of understanding, Zara placed her hand over Sarah's heart. Instantly, the human felt a surge of energy unlike anything she had ever experienced. It was as if every atom in her body was singing, resonating with the fundamental forces of the universe. Together, human and alien, they pushed the limits of what was possible. The temporal distortion expanded, enveloping more of the hegemony fleet. Earth's weapons found their marks with uncanny precision, tearing through advanced alien shields and armor. But the strain was immense. Sarah felt as if her very essence was being drained away, poured into the cosmic effort to save her world. Through the haze of pain and exhaustion, she saw the holographic display flicker with more and more explosions among the enemy fleet. Just when Sarah thought she could endure no more, when the edges of her vision began to darken and her legs threatened to give out, Zara's voice cut through the chaos. "It's done," the alien said, her mental tone filled with awe and exhaustion. "The hegemony fleet, it's retreating." As the temporal distortion faded and normal time reasserted itself, Sarah collapsed to her knees. She looked up at the main view screen, hardly daring to believe what she saw. The remaining hegemony ships were indeed in full retreat, fleeing Earth's orbit with their forces in disarray. Cheers and sobs of relief filled the command center. General Weathers approached, his gruff demeanor softened by a look of profound respect. "You did it," he said simply. "Both of you, you saved Earth." Sarah, still struggling to catch her breath, looked up at Zara. The alien's normally vibrant blue skin was pale, almost translucent, but there was a spark of something new in those swirling silver eyes: hope. "We did it together," Sarah said, reaching out to clasp Zara's hand. Human and luminary united. As medical teams rushed to attend to the exhausted heroes, Sarah's mind raced for the implications of what had just occurred. Earth had not only survived its first contact with a hostile alien force, but had emerged victorious. And in doing so, they had forged an alliance that could reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. But Sarah knew this was only the beginning. The hegemony would not take this defeat lightly. Earth would need to prepare for the challenges ahead, to take its place on the galactic stage. As she drifted on the edge of consciousness, Sarah made a silent vow. She would ensure that humanity used this victory not as an excuse for complacency, but as a stepping stone to a greater destiny among the stars. With allies like Zara and the knowledge they had gained, perhaps they could build a future where humans and aliens could coexist in peace. The battle was won, but the war for the future of the galaxy had only just begun. And Sarah Chen, once a simple military captain, now found herself at the heart of a cosmic struggle that would define the fate of countless worlds. As she finally surrendered to exhaustion, Sarah's last conscious thought was of the incredible journey that lay ahead. Earth had taken its first steps into a larger universe, and she was determined to see where that path might lead. Cosmic crucible. The aftermath of Earth's victory against the hegemony was a whirlwind of activity. As the world celebrated its narrow escape from alien domination, Captain Sarah Chen found herself thrust into the center of a global transformation. Humanity had gotten its first taste of interstellar conflict, and there was no going back. In the weeks that followed, Sarah and Zara became the faces of Earth's new era. They addressed the United Nations, explaining the gravity of the situation and the need for a unified planetary defense. The Luminaries' presence on Earth was a lightning rod for both fear and hope, sparking heated debates about humanity's place in the cosmos. "We can no longer afford to think of ourselves as separate nations," Sarah declared to the assembled world leaders. "The hegemony will return, and when they do, they'll bring everything they have. We need to be ready." Zara stood beside her, her otherworldly presence a stark reminder of what was at stake. "Your world has drawn the attention of forces beyond your comprehension," the alien added, her mental voice resonating through the chamber. "But you have also shown a potential that even the hegemony fears. Together, we can forge a new path for both our peoples." As the UN deliberated, Sarah found herself working tirelessly to prepare Earth for what was to come. She oversaw the integration of Zara's knowledge into human technology, pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. Quantum computers, gravity manipulation, and even the first tentative steps towards faster-than-light travel all became reality in a matter of months. But not everyone was content with this rapid progress. A vocal minority, led by charismatic politician Senator Marcus Graves, warned of the dangers of trusting an alien, no matter how benevolent she seemed. "We barely survived one alien invasion," Graves thundered during a televised debate. "And now we're handing over our most advanced technology to another extraterrestrial. How do we know this isn't all part of some grander deception?" Sarah found herself constantly defending Zara and their alliance, even as doubt gnawed at her own mind. The Luminary had shared so much, but there were still mysteries surrounding her past and the true extent of her powers. One night, as they worked late in a newly constructed quantum research facility, Sarah finally voiced her concerns. "Zara," she began hesitantly, "I trust you. I hope you know that. But there's so much about you, about your people, that I still don't understand. Are we doing the right thing, pushing humanity so far so fast?" The alien turned to her, silver eyes swirling with emotion. "Your doubt is understandable, Sarah. In truth, there is much I haven't told you. Not out of deception, but out of fear. Fear of what might happen if humans gained too much power too quickly." Sarah's heart raced. "What do you mean?" Zara sighed, a sound like distant wind chimes. "My people, the Luminari, we weren't always as you see me now. Eons ago, we were much like humans, curious, ambitious, full of potential. But our discovery of quantum manipulation changed everything. We reshaped worlds, bent time to our will, even created life itself. We became as gods." The alien's eyes darkened. But with that power came arrogance. Factions arose, each believing they knew best how to shape the cosmos. The war that followed nearly tore reality apart. In the end, only a handful of us survived, sworn to never again let such power fall into unprepared hands. Sarah listened, awestruck and terrified. "And you think humanity might follow the same path?" "I don't know," Zara admitted. "That's what frightens me. Your species has such potential for both creation and destruction. I want to help you, to guide you towards a brighter future, but I fear I may be dooming you instead." Before Sarah could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. They rushed to the control room, where panicked technicians were gathered around a holographic display. "What's happening?" Sarah demanded. A young scientist, her face pale with fear, pointed to the screen. "We were running tests on the quantum communication array when this appeared." The hologram showed a swirling vortex of energy, pulsing with otherworldly light, and through that vortex came a transmission, a face Sarah had never seen before, but one that filled her with instinctive dread. The being was vaguely humanoid, but its features were twisted, as if reality itself couldn't quite contain its form. When it spoke, its voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "Greetings, primitive beings," it said, its tone dripping with condescension. "I am Sarketh, Archon of the Hegemony. Your recent defiance has not gone unnoticed. nor has the presence of the luminary traitor in your midst. Sarah glanced at Zara, who had gone deathly still. Sarkef continued, its distorted features twisting into a cruel smile. You have meddled in affairs beyond your comprehension, little humans, but we are not without mercy. Surrender the luminary to us, and we will spare your world from annihilation. You have one solar rotation to comply. The transmission cut off, leaving the room in stunned silence. Sarah's mind raced. They had known the hegemony would return, but not like this. Not so soon, and not with such an impossible ultimatum. She turned to Zara, whose normally luminescent skin had gone pale. You know this, Sarkef. The alien nodded slowly. He was once one of us. A luminary who embraced the darkest aspects of our power. We thought him destroyed in the final battle, but it seems he merely fled, biding his time. What do we do? Sarah asked, struggling to keep the fear from her voice. We can't hand you over, but we're not ready for another invasion, especially not from whatever Sarkef has become. Zara's eyes hardened with resolve. There is another option, one I had hoped to avoid, but now see as our only choice. We must awaken the Forge. The Forge, Sarah repeated, confused. A place of power, Zara explained, hidden away when my people fell. It contains knowledge and technology beyond even what I shared with you. With it, we might stand a chance against Sarkef and the hegemony. Sarah nodded, her determination returning. Then that's what we'll do. Where is this Forge? Zora's answer sent a chill down Sarah's spine. At the heart of a dying star, in a system at the edge of your galaxy. We have less than a day to reach it, harness its power, and return to face our destiny. As the gravity of their situation sank in, Sarah realized that everything, her training, her experiences, the very fate of humanity, had been leading to this moment. They were about to embark on a journey that would push the limits of human endurance and luminary power alike. With a deep breath, she gave the order to prepare Earth's first faster-than-light vessel. In less than an hour, they would be venturing into the unknown, racing against time to save not just humanity, but perhaps the entire galaxy. As the experimental ship hummed to life around them, Sarah caught Zara's gaze. In those swirling silver eyes, she saw a mix of fear, hope, and something else, a deep, abiding trust. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The stars beckoned, holding both peril and promise, and as the ship prepared to make its first cosmic leap, Sarah Chen knew that the true test of humanity's spirit was about to begin. Starforge Ascendant, the experimental ship, christened the Starweaver, erupted into existence at the edge of a massive red giant star. Its hull gleamed with an iridescent sheen, a fusion of human ingenuity and luminary quantum technology. Inside the bridge, Captain Sarah Chen gripped her chair as the vessel stabilized after its first faster-than-light jump. "Status report," she barked, fighting down a wave of nausea from the disorienting travel. Her hand-picked crew, a mix of Earth's brightest minds and most skilled operatives, called out system checks. Miraculously, everything had held together during the jump. Zara stood at the front viewport, her silver eyes fixed on the dying star before them. "The Forge lies within," she said, her mental voice tinged with awe and trepidation. "But accessing it will not be easy." Sarah joined her at the viewport, marveling at the sheer scale of the celestial body. "What exactly are we looking for?" The luminary's expression was grave. "The Forge is a construct created by my ancestors, hidden within the star's core. It harnesses the power of stellar fusion to create, well, almost anything. Weapons, ships, even rewrite the laws of physics on a local scale." "Sounds like it could turn the tide against the hegemony," Sarah mused. Zara nodded. "Yes, but it's not without risk. The power contained within the Forge is immense. In the wrong hands, it could devastate entire sectors of the galaxy." As if on cue, alarms blared throughout the ship. Multiple contacts detected, the sensor officer shouted. "Hegemony signatures, They found us. Sarah's blood ran cold. How had they tracked them across such a vast distance? She pushed the thought aside, focusing on the immediate threat. Battle stations, evasive maneuvers, she commanded. The Starweaver banked hard, narrowly avoiding a barrage of energy weapons from the approaching hegemony fleet. Sarah's mind raced. They were outnumbered and outgunned, with no chance of winning a prolonged engagement. Zara, we need to get to that forge now, she said urgently. Can you guide us in? The Luminary's eyes glowed with intensity. Yes, but it will require precise timing and a leap of faith. Sarah didn't hesitate. Do it. Zara placed her hands on the ship's control interface, her entire body suffused with crackling energy. The Starweaver systems surged with power beyond their design specifications. All hands, brace for impact, Sarah shouted as Zara guided their ship into a spiraling dive towards the star's roiling surface. The hull creaked and groaned under the immense gravitational forces. Warning lights flashed across every console as they plunged deeper into the stellar inferno. Just when it seemed their ship would be torn apart, reality itself seemed to shift. The blinding light of the star faded, replaced by a breathtaking sight. They found themselves in a vast chamber that seemed to exist outside of normal space-time. Swerving energies danced around colossal structures of impossible geometry. At the center stood a pulsing orb of pure, distilled cosmic power, the heart of the forge. By all that's holy, Sarah whispered, awestruck. But their moment of wonder was short-lived. A crackling portal opened behind them, disgorging hegemony troops led by a figure that could only be Axarketh himself. The twisted luminary's form writhed with barely contained energy, his voice booming through the chamber. Did you really think you could keep this power from me? I, who have transcended the limitations of our weak and foolish race. Zara stood defiantly between Sarketh and the Forge's core. You've become the very thing our people swore to prevent, Sarketh, a cosmic abomination. The Archon laughed, a sound that sent shivers down Sarah's spine. Abomination. I am evolution itself, and with the power of the Forge, I shall reshape reality to my will. What followed was a battle unlike anything in human history. Zara and Sarketh clashed in a duel of godlike beings, bending the very fabric of space-time around them. Sarah and her crew fought desperately against the hegemony forces, their weapons enhanced by the ambient energy of the Forge. But it quickly became clear they were outmatched. Sarketh's power was overwhelming, fueled by eons of corrupt evolution. Zara fought valiantly, but she was being pushed back, closer and closer to the Forge's core. In a moment of desperation, Sarah had an idea, reckless, possibly suicidal, but their only chance. Zara, she shouted over the chaos of battle. The core, use it. The Luminary's eyes widened in understanding and fear. Sarah, no. A human mind can't possibly contain that much power. It would destroy you. Better me than the entire galaxy, Sarah replied grimly. Do it. Time seemed to slow as Zara made her choice. With a cry of anguish, she reached out with her power, connecting Sarah's mind directly to the Forge's core. The universe exploded behind Sarah's eyes. Knowledge, power, the fundamental forces of creation itself, all poured into her consciousness in a searing torrent. She screamed, her body lifting off the ground, suffused with cosmic energy. Sarketh's triumphant laughter turned to confusion, then fear. What is this? What have you done? Sarah opened her eyes, now swirling with the same silver energy as Zara's. When she spoke, her voice resonated with newfound power. You wanted to reshape reality, Sarketh. Let me show you how it's done. With a gesture, she unmade the hegemony forces, erasing them from existence. Another wave of her hand sealed the portals, cutting off any escape. Sarketh howled in fury, unleashing the full might of his corrupted power against her. But Sarah stood unmoved. In her mind, she could see the tangled webs of probability, the quantum strings that held reality together. And with that knowledge came understanding and choice. "Your time is over," she declared. "The age of tyrants and empires ends now." With a thought, she unraveled Farkas' very being, dispersing his essence across the cosmos. The chamber shuddered as the full power of the forge surged through her, responding to her will. Zara watched in awe and terror as Sarah reshaped the very nature of their reality. Faster-than-light travel became universally accessible. Weaponry capable of destroying worlds was rendered inert. A psychic network sprang into existence, connecting all sentient beings in a web of empathy and understanding. As the energies began to fade, Sarah turned to Zara, her eyes slowly returning to normal. "It's done," she said softly. "The galaxy is free." Then her eyes rolled back, and she collapsed. Sarah awoke days later in the Starweaver's medical bay, her mind reeling from the lingering effects of her cosmic revelation. Zara sat beside her, a look of concern and wonder on her alien features. "What happened?" Sarah asked groggily. "Did it work?" Zara nodded, her mental voice filled with emotion. "You did it, Sarah. You rewrote the fundamental laws of our universe. The hegemony is no more, and a new age of peace and understanding has dawned." Sarah tried to sit up, wincing at the effort. "I remember so much, but it's fading like a dream." "Your human mind couldn't contain the full power of the forge indefinitely," Zara explained. "But you've retained enough. You're something new now, Sarah. A bridge between humanity and the cosmos." As Sarah processed this, a thought occurred to her. "Earth, are we too late?" Zara smiled. "Time flows differently in the forge. We've been gone mere hours in the outside world. Earth is safe, and about to step onto a much larger stage." Sarah lay back, overwhelmed by the implications. She had set out to save her world and had ended up transforming the galaxy. As the Starweaver began its journey home, she knew that the true adventure, for herself, for humanity, and for all sentient life, was only just beginning. The cosmos stretched out before them, no longer a realm of terror and tyranny, but a vast frontier of limitless possibility. And Sarah Chen, once a simple starship captain, now found herself at the dawn of a new cosmic age, one shaped by the indomitable spirit of humanity and the transcendent power of the stars themselves. Cosmic Renaissance. The return of the Starweaver to Earth marked the beginning of a new era for humanity. As the ship descended through the atmosphere, crowds gathered in every major city, their eyes turned skyward in anticipation. The world had changed in the brief time Sarah and her crew had been gone, the psychic network she had created already beginning to reshape global society. As Sarah stepped onto the tarmac, she was struck by the palpable sense of hope and wonder that permeated the air. Zara stood beside her, the luminary's presence no longer a source of fear, but a fascination for the assembled humans. "Captain Chen," a voice called out. Sarah turned to see Dr. Usha Patel, Earth's leading xenobiologist, approaching with barely contained excitement. "The changes you've initiated, they're beyond our wildest dreams. Can you tell us more about what happened at the forge?" Sarah smiled, the memories of her cosmic transformation still swirling in her mind. "It's not just about what happened there, Dr. Petal. It's about what's happening here now. We've been given a chance to redefine our place in the universe." As Sarah began to explain, her words carried across the globe through the newfound psychic link. Humans everywhere listened in awe as she described the fall of the hegemony and the dawn of a new galactic order. "But this is just the beginning," Sarah concluded. "We have a responsibility now, not just to Earth, but to all sentient life in the cosmos. We need to use this gift wisely." In the weeks that followed, Earth underwent a transformation unlike anything in human history. The psychic network fostered a new era of global cooperation, breaking down barriers of language and culture. Scientific advancement accelerated at an unprecedented rate as researchers tapped into the collective knowledge of humanity. Zara worked tirelessly alongside human scientists, helping them understand and harness the new cosmic principles Sarah had unleashed. Faster-than-light travel became a reality, opening up the stars to exploration. Clean, limitless energy solved the climate crisis almost overnight. Diseases that had plagued humanity for millennia were eradicated through a deeper understanding of the quantum nature of biology. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. Some humans struggled to adapt to the rapid changes, fearing the loss of individuality in the face of global psychic connection. Others worried about the implications of such power in human hands, remembering the wars and atrocities of their own history. Sarah found herself at the center of these debates, working to guide humanity towards a responsible use of their newfound abilities. She established the Cosmic Concordat, a framework for ethical advancement and peaceful contact with other civilizations. 1 year after the events at the Forge, Sarah stood before the United Nations, now expanded to include representatives from the first wave of off-world colonies. "We stand at a crossroads," she began, her voice carrying the weight of her cosmic experiences. "The universe has opened up to us in ways we never imagined. But with this great power comes an even greater responsibility." She gestured to the holographic display behind her, showing the vast expanse of the Milky Way. "We are not alone out there. There are countless civilizations, some more advanced than us, others just taking their first steps into the cosmic community. Our task now is to be guides, helpers, and friends to those we encounter." Sarah's gaze swept across the assembly, making eye contact with humans and alien observers alike. "But we must also be vigilant. The power we wield could easily corrupt us, as it did the hegemony. We must hold ourselves to the highest ethical standards, always striving to use our abilities for the greater good of all sentient life." As she spoke, Sarah felt a familiar presence in her mind. Zara's mental voice, tinged with pride and affection, echoed in her thoughts. "You've come so far, Sarah. Your species has achieved in 1 year what took my people millennia." Sarah allowed a small smile to cross her face as she continued her address. "To that end, I propose the formation of the Galactic Ascendancy Initiative. This organization will oversee our expansion into space, ensure the ethical use of our new technologies, and serve as a beacon of hope and progress for all civilizations we encounter." The assembly erupted in applause, the psychic network amplifying the sense of unity and purpose. As Sarah stepped down from the podium, she was approached by a group of children, their eyes wide with wonder. "Captain Chen," one young girl asked, her voice filled with awe, "what's it like out there, among the stars?" Sarah knelt down, meeting the child's gaze. "It's beautiful beyond imagination," she said softly. "There are wonders out there that will take your breath away, challenges that will test everything you think you know. But most importantly, there's hope. Hope for a future where all beings, no matter their origin, can work together to unlock the true potential of the cosmos." As the children listened enraptured, Sarah felt a surge of optimism for the future. The road ahead would not be easy, but humanity had proven its resilience and adaptability time and time again. The saga that had begun with a single alien woman feared by the entire galaxy had blossomed into something far greater. Humanity, once confined to a single world, now stood poised to take its place among the stars, and Sarah Chen, the captain who had dared to approach the feared alien, found herself at the helm of humanity's greatest adventure. As she looked up at the night sky, now filled with the promise of countless new worlds to explore, Sarah knew that the true story of humanity's cosmic journey was only just beginning. The universe awaited, vast and mysterious, ready to be explored by a species that had finally grown into its full potential. With Zara by her side and the whole of humanity united in purpose, Sarah Chen prepared to lead her people into a future brighter than any could have imagined. The cosmic renaissance had begun, and with it, a new chapter in the grand story of life in the universe.